Foodies and adventurers of Denver, this is the video for you. I'm going to reveal some of my favorite brunch spots, dinner dates, local businesses, and ice cream shops, and everything else in between. Now, normally a lot of people that visit Denver don't see it as a big foodie scene, but I'm here to tell you there are a bunch of places to feast on while you're here. And if you want all of these restaurants and local businesses all in one place, check out the description below where you can get the local guidebook where it has all of the restaurants that I recommend here in this video, as well as other attractions, favorite schools, and things like that. So with that being said, let's get right into it. I'm really excited to show you guys this, and if you heard it from here in this video, all calories are half off. Just kidding. I have to start it off with the breakfast scene. The breakfast scene here in Denver is freaking awesome, and I'm gonna start it off strong with the Denver Biscuit Company. It has fantastic biscuits, whether you want it for your entree or your appetizer, and if you want something just to start out, definitely get the cinnamon roll with the bacon bits sprinkled on top. You can order one for the table or just order one for yourself. The second place I want to introduce you to for breakfast is #Colorado. It's a fantastic place, and it feels a lot like Snooze if you've ever been there. Definitely order the caramel apple hot cake if you're into the sweet portion of your breakfast. And I ordered it for the table for me and my wife, and honestly, I ate most of it. And if you and your friends are into the boozy side of breakfast, definitely check out the Big Ass Boozy Punch for your table of 4. Now moving on to the brunch side, I would highly recommend you check out Lucille's Creole Cafe. I usually get the Lucille's spiced tea over there along with the side order of beignets, which is like this French pastry with powdered sugar on top. It's amazing. Or if you're really into Bloody Marys, they have a fantastic Bloody Mary there. They usually put some crazy things in there, from olives to celery to bacon and things like that. And be sure to hold your breath when you're eating those beignets because the powdered sugar is kind of loose. But like, maybe it'll go up your nose, but maybe that's all part of the experience. But they're fantastic nonetheless. And if you're looking for an entree with a lot of cheese and meats and all that good stuff, I would highly recommend getting the andouille sausage omelets. That's what I always get there. Moving on to the next brunch spot, I would highly recommend you check out Bacon Social House. And I know with me in particular, I just love all kinds of bacon, but I never thought I would be so particular with bacon until I went to Bacon Social House. And while you're there at Bacon Social House, definitely check out the Bacon Flight, where you get 6 different strips of bacon, and it comes with like different jerkies or flavors or seasonings along with it. It's amazing. The bacon there is excellent. Now with Bacon Social House, make sure you check out the menu per location. It kind of varies based on where you go, so make sure you look out for that online before you go over there. I know I'm moving really quickly here, but I'm just going to give you like 2 of my favorite restaurants or shops per category here. So let's move on to the next one: dinner date ideas and dinner date places to go. The first thing that came to mind when I thought of like the dinner date idea was Daughter Thai Kitchen. It has fantastic Thai food, and I would highly recommend you check out the duck because I'm a huge fan of it myself. So check out the duck dish. I think it's called roti duck with jasmine rice, and maybe get some coconut rice along with it. And be very careful with the spice level. And I know usually when I'm ordering food around Denver, especially me coming from San Diego, I usually order a little bit more on the spicy side. But Thai food is no joke, so make sure you just be very conscious of what you can handle. The second place that I would recommend for a dinner date night is Nocturne Jazz. Nocturne is an excellent place to bring your date. It's got great ambiance, live jazz music, and it's in the center of town too. So if you are craving the sweets, or if you want to go walk around somewhere else, you're already in the center of town for Nocturne. The third place I would recommend for a dinner date is L5. L5 is an amazing place, great rooftop or balcony situation where you can see the skyline in the background, and the paella is fantastic over there. Now let's move on to the ice cream category, and I am a huge fan of ice cream, and anyone that knows me knows that I have a sweet tooth that is insatiable. And the first ice cream place that came to mind was Pints Peak, a local business that just creates this artisan flavors combined to make just an orchestra in your mouth, a symphony, if you will. The founder of Pints Peak, Caitlin Howington, is crushing it with the flavors, from lavender to peaches to brownie bites. Whatever it might be, she's interested in just trying it out and experimenting with it. And she has not failed me yet on the flavors. Make sure you go follow the Pints Peak Instagram page or website to see where their food truck is or see where they're popped up on a certain farmer's market. And I wouldn't be a proper Denverite if I didn't mention Little Man Ice Cream. Little Man Ice Cream is the pride and joy of the Denver scene in terms of ice cream. It has fantastic flavors. It's in the heart of Highlands, and it has this massive milk jug, and it's really hard to miss, but it just looks so awesome there. And with it being so central to town, you can have some dinner at like L5 or Linger and walk on down to Little Man Ice Cream and cap off your night with some excellent ice cream. I'm a sucker for chocolate, so if you were to get a flavor over there, I would highly recommend 16th Street Chocolate. And now that we got the majority of the meals out of the way, let's go into more specific categories. So the first category that I want to bring up are the donuts. I'm sure you can tell now that, like, with the ice cream and everything else, that I love my sweets. But the first donut place that I want to bring up is Landline Donuts, and they have a really interesting mix of their dough, which makes it taste amazing. So the donuts themselves have that 1/3 mashed potato base, and it has a cool design, almost like a flower. It doesn't feel like it has that weight to it after you eat a typical donut, so it feels really good. And with the fresh mashed potatoes in the mix, it actually has a longer shelf life as well. So if you wanted to grab a dozen and bring some home, it'll probably last most of the day, if not the next day as well. But I myself find them pretty irresistible, so they're usually gone within the hour. The second donut shop that I would highly recommend is actually Pandemic Donuts, a local business here that started back in 2020 during, you guessed it, the pandemic. Back in 2020, Gabrielle and Michael actually got furloughed from their restaurant jobs. So now they're creating these awesome donuts that look as amazing as they taste. And what's cool is that they actually give you the donut hole as well, so you get the whole donut. The next category I want to bring up is the ramen scene here in Denver, and I'm pleasantly surprised with the choices that we have here. The first ramen place that I would highly recommend you check out is Uncle Ramen, or just Uncle, and it was rated as 5280 Magazine's 25 best restaurants here in Denver. It doesn't look like your typical ramen house, but it has fantastic appetizers, excellent pork buns, and the ramen is to die for, of course. So as you might guess, I am a sucker for duck dishes, so I would highly recommend you check out the duck ramen. But if you're not into duck like I am, I would highly recommend you check out the chashu pork ramen. But make sure you do yourself a favor and get the pork buns. More of your typical ramen house, I would highly recommend Sukiya off of East Arapahoe Road. I am a huge fan of tonkatsu ramen, and you could definitely get it here and not be disappointed over at Sukiya. And usually at other ramen houses, I get like extra noodles in there and I pile it on, but Sukiya actually gives me a good amount, and when I ordered extra noodles that first time, I was so full. So if you're more of an extra noodle type of person, I would maybe stay back from it over at Sukiya. Highly recommend the ramen, fantastic place, and it's sort of off the beaten path, so yeah, go check it out. On to the next category, burgers. The burger scene here in Denver is also really good. The beef here is excellent. The first place that I would highly recommend you check out is Cherry Cricket over in Cherry Creek. They got some awesome, tasty combinations. It almost reminds me of Slater's 50/50, but honestly, I prefer Cherry Cricket way more. And sometimes the burgers are just ridiculous in a really good way. So you just gotta go check out 983 The Big Cheesy. It's a half-pound burger with jalapeno cheese, poblano peppers, and mac and cheese in the burger as well. It's crazy good. Also over there, you could customize your own burger, and it even has like peanut butter to flaming hot Cheetos, so many different toppings for your burger. The second place that I would highly recommend you to get a burger is Adrift. It's not normally known for its burgers, but I tried their burger over there, the Loco Moco burger, and it's fantastic, especially for a tiki bar. You got the beef and chorizo patties, the fried egg, and the tonkatsu sauce on top. It's fantastic over there. And if you're interested in getting a cocktail, definitely check out the Zombie. What's interesting too is that, like, I haven't tried it myself, but it has in the disclaimer that it has a limit of 2 per person. So get 2 if you're feeling adventurous. And now the little cousin of the burger scene, let's go check out the sandwiches and delis here in Denver. And the 2 immediately that came to mind were these, and I have no doubt that you will absolutely love these 2 places. So the first place is actually Levin Deli over in Denver. Honestly, Levin Deli has a lot more than just sandwiches. Excellent sides, try the pastrami, and if you're into dessert as well like I am, you gotta go try out the tahini chocolate chip brownie over there. The second place that I would highly recommend you check out is Il Porcellino over in Denver as well. If you're as diehard a fan of Reuben sandwiches like I am, you gotta go check out the Reuben sandwiches over in Il Porcellino because they make it with Wagyu beef. And I'll say less about this sandwich because the less I say, the sooner you can get out to Il Porcellino, because I highly recommend you go check it out. And now let's move on to food halls. Sometimes you just can't decide on what you exactly want to eat, so I wanted to include this category in here so that you can just go into the space and just get a plethora of different types of cuisines, and you're sure to leave the place happy. The number 1 food hall that I would highly suggest you check out is the Dairy Block over in Denver. It's at an excellent location. It's over in the Lodo area, which is lower downtown, and you're minutes away from Union Station. You're just in the heart of it all. There's always cool events happening right next door in the pedestrian alley with like live music or events going on over there. So if you're just chilling on a weekend in Dairy Block, go check out Pedestrian Alley right next door. Inside Dairy Block, you got Forage. I would highly recommend you go check out that restaurant because whether you want like steak and whiskey or sushi and sake, it's got everything in Forage, and it's a little bit more high scale, so you're not going to be disappointed. The second place that I would highly recommend you check out is Number 38. Number 38 was rated the best outdoor venue and patio for pets in 2023, so it's a fantastic place. Whether you want to watch a movie with a blanket and your friends nearby, or watch it for live music or a stand-up show, it's all right there. Just go inside for some burgers or some food, as well as some drinks that are on tap. There's so many choices over there, and then just hop outside for that cool outdoor live music scene space. And the third food hall that I think you should check out is the Koark Collective. It's a massive Korean food hall that has everything from bibimbap to boba to rice bowls to crepes. It is amazing. What's really cool is that you can even do pottery in there too. So they got their own wheel spinning thing. I'm not much of a pottery guy myself, but I thought that was really cool. So it's kid friendly and it's got a lot of board games to keep them entertained. And now let's go on to the Italian scene. And honestly, this is the first place that came to mind when I chose this category. Dio Mio pasta is fantastic. You got some excellent pasta, they hand make it in-house, and it does not break the bank. They get a little experimental with their dishes too, so I had a radiatori pasta with chicharrones in there too, so they combine different things, but it was an amazing scene, and my mouth just couldn't handle it. And if my friends ever want an Italian place, this is the first place that I'm going and taking them. Although a close contender is Bar Dough, you gotta go there too. It's a fantastic Italian kitchen, and Chef Russell definitely pushes the envelope with like the traditional Italian dishes, but tries to keep the traditional scene with like pastas, meats, and preparing the fish. And if you're into pizza, go check out the wood-fired pizza there over at Bar Dough. But if you're already here in Denver, I have to go give a shout out to Spolina. So it's a local business here. Jessie makes her own pasta over in a commercial kitchen, and I've been going to her for years for proper recipes. And I highly recommend you go check her out at farmers markets or just go check out her website. What's also really cool is that she has this like pasta of the month club where she brings in a newsletter, a certain pasta for the month, and a recipe kit for it as well. Now let's go on to the food events. There's a lot of events that go on here in the Denver scene, and I highly recommend you go check out at least one of them. So The first one that I want to bring up here is the Denver Food and Wine Festival. So every year, me and my wife go check out the Denver Food and Wine Festival because it also helps out the Colorado Restaurant Foundation. Plus, they got amazing food over there, of course. So I was definitely on a good one, just trying all the wines, the mezcal, the tequilas, the wines, and all of the tasty pairings that go along with it. I honestly had an amazing time over there. The second event that I would highly recommend you go check out is Tacolandia or Top Taco. Tacolandia specifically, like $30 for unlimited tacos, unlimited tastings of tequila, and even beer tastings too. I mean, sign me up, right? Not only that, but you actually got this really cool scene with luchadores like wrestling in the middle of the whole scene. It was amazing. And now going from there, from the food events, let's move on to the breweries. The breweries and the Denver scene often go hand in hand, and I have to go mention my top three. First one is Comrade Brewing. Number one in beer, in my opinion. I love the Superpower IPA over there. They won a whole bunch of medals at the Great American Beer Festival, which is actually held in Denver, which is crazy to me. The next one is actually in September of 2023, so highly recommend you go check it out, or at least keep your ear in tune with it so that you know which brewery to go to next. And last thing I'll say about Comrade is that it won Small Brewery of the Year back in 2019, so highly recommend you go check it out. It's been my favorite place to go to for beer for a very long time. The next place I want to introduce you to is Cerebral. Cerebral is a fantastic place for beer as well. They take this like scientific approach to it, and it definitely shows with their founders. So the head brewer, Sean, he actually is a doctor in physical therapy. And the co-founder, Chris, he's a doctor in microbiology. And that combination of two doctors with the brilliant minds, they're coming up with some really good beer. And the last brewery I want to introduce you to, which is a little bit more off the beaten path, is True Brewing. If you love heavy metal, you gotta go check out True Brewing because it really captures that ambiance of like that dark, ominous lighting, goat figures, almost like satanic at the same time, but like the beer is fantastic, the design here is great, and what's really cool too about this brewery is that in the back they have the Music City Hot Chicken over there, which leads perfectly into the next category, the chicken sandwiches. I am a sucker for chicken sandwiches as well, and as you can tell, I'm a sucker for a lot of things here. A lot of things that are very food related or sweet related, especially when it comes to hot chicken sandwiches. The Music City Hot Chicken scene, the flavors and the spices, they're actually more on the spicy side, so I am impressed. I would also recommend getting their chicken tenders because they are massive, and also check out some of their sauces on the side. They got a whole bunch of different kinds, and you're never bored over at this place. The second place that I would go for chicken sandwiches is Bird Boulevard, which is not too popular in my opinion, but I ran into these guys over at the Junction Food Hall over in the Centennial area. Great scene. Junction Food Hall also has some great sodas along with it, but the chicken sandwiches are really crispy on the outside and they have this nice drizzle along with it, so I don't know what they do to it, but whatever it is, it's working. And now let's move on to the food truck scene. You gotta go check out Yuan Wonton. It is the best place to get those wontons, and even the locals know about it because every time I see that food truck, there is just a line out the door and around the corner just to go pick up these wontons. So if you really want to go try them out, make sure you go pre-order them online and follow their Instagram account because they're often putting out specials or like notifying everyone where they're going to be. So I would highly suggest preemptively checking it out and ordering it beforehand so that all you got to do is just go up to the truck and pick it up. The second food truck that I would highly recommend you go check out is Mukja. It's like a Korean street food truck. I mean, they got some amazing food over there, including the bibimbap, but actually well known for their cheese pull. So you gotta go get the cheese dog over there. It's like deep fried, and every time you eat it, the pull is just insane. You bite it and just like the cheese just drips. It's almost like a scene from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles where they take a bite of the pizza and the cheese just stays there. It's really good, and it's a funny scene to see. And the last food truck that I would highly recommend you go check out is Chile con Quesadilla, which is like a Mexican food truck that's really hard to miss because it's like a hot pink food truck, and everyone in there working is amazing. I first met these guys over at Tacolandia, and they won a whole bunch of awards for their food. Definitely go check out the Birria Quesadilla and get the Papadilla. And now let's go to the coffee scene. I mean, coffee is aplenty here in the Denver area, especially with all the developers and tech sales guys. They need their caffeine, so I would highly suggest you go check out Queen City Coffee, first of all. I mean, the number one reason why I love a Queen City Coffee is the coffee, but to complement that is Pandemic Doughnuts is served there as well. And their cappuccino is really good too, so I would highly recommend you go check it out. Queen City Coffee for the coffee, cappuccino, and pair it up with a Pandemic Donut as well. The second place that I would highly recommend is Corvus Coffee. Corvus Coffee has excellent espresso shots. I feel like they really take the art behind the coffee and just roll with it. And what I usually get though if I'm on the run is the Nolan's iced coffee, which I think is a nitro cold brew as well. It's got like some sweetener in there, some vanilla in there, and it's just a really good drink for you. And of course, I have to give a shout out to my homies, the Coffee Band, the subscription-based little jars of coffee that they do deliveries and things like that. But highly recommend you go check them out. They often have these like seasonal flavors like horchata or cherry blossom. Fantastic people, and I would highly recommend you go check them out. And now let's go on to the bakery scene. I love my carbs, ice cream, as you could tell, and any sort of sweets in between, but the bakery scene here is actually growing quite exponentially here in Denver. So the first place that I would highly recommend you go check out, and it only just recently came out, and maybe if you've been following me, you've seen these guys just release, and you might have seen a brief tour of it, but Get Right's Bakery. Get Right's has so many different types of pastries here, from key lime pies to chocolate hazelnut bars to your typical not pain out croissant, like a chocolate croissant, almond croissants, and things like that. Even cookies too. Something for everyone over there. Get Right's Bakery is over in Wheat Ridge. Definitely go check them out. They're fantastic people. Matt and Lindsay over there. Much love to you guys. The second bakery I want to bring up is Rebel Bread. And if you're looking for like some really good sourdough with some seeds in there, almost like what your Italian grandmother used to make, definitely go check out Rebel Bread because they make a fantastic load. And now moving on to the pizza category. You gotta know where to go for the best pizza here in Denver, in my opinion. First of all, you gotta go check out Bojo's. It is the home for the Colorado Mountain Pie, and the crust looks amazing. And it's almost like this dessert crust, and it's so good because on the side they serve honey, like local honey with it, and you're supposed to drizzle it on the crust. So it's an experience, it's amazing, and the toppings themselves are to die for. And the second place I would go for pizza is Blue Pan Pizza. They have excellent Detroit-style pizza. You really can't go wrong with their Detroit-style pizza because like every single time that I go there and got a different style or a different flavor of the Detroit style, I have never been disappointed over there. And I can't really choose like a certain flavor or a certain topping because it's almost like choosing a favorite child. But I would actually go to their website, or maybe they have it on the menu of the Winner Circle or the Winners category, I think it is. So definitely go check out that section or that category and get a pizza from there. Now I'm going to go on to one of the last categories here, the small businesses worth mentioning. I love these businesses, and I go see them every time I check out like a certain farmer's market, and I actively go out of my way to go make sure I give patronage to these guys. Samosa Shop. I love their samosas. So Chef Dave puts his own spin on samosas, which is sort of like this savory pastry with chicken or beef, peas, carrots, potatoes, and he likes to put his own spin on like what is inside these samosas. So I highly recommend you go check it out. Much love, Samosa Shop. Chef Dave, you're an amazing human being, man. And if you're really into chips and just snacking all the time, I would highly recommend you go check out Denver Chip Company. Denver Chip Company is so specialized, they only have 2 flavors. Number 1 is just your straight up original, which is fantastic. But I would highly recommend you get the second one, which is the sweet and spicy flavor. And it's just this perfect combination of like the sugar, the cayenne pepper, the saltiness of the salt. I mean, it's honestly my favorite chip of all time. And even Alton Brown agrees. He actually got his hands on the Denver Chip Company's sweet and spicy chip and rated it his favorite chip in the nation in 2014. I think that's right. And so lastly, I have the wings category, and I wanted to have a second option for wings, but I haven't really gone out to too many like wing places, but I guess this one wins by default. But I will say that even though it's by default, I would highly recommend you go check them out. Fire on the Mountain Wings. It's kind of cool. Like you go in there, it almost feels like coastal 60s rock and roll vibe. Honestly, a really cool scene, and I would highly recommend you just get like any sauces, and you cannot go wrong with the wing of the month or flavor of the month. And while you're waiting for the wings, definitely get the appetizer sampler, and then after all of that, get the deep fried Oreos and treat yourself. And that about wraps it up. That's all I got so far for like the best places to eat over in Denver. I'm always out checking out whole new places, and I will say that this is not completely comprehensive. I want to say that there's still some restaurants or places to eat that I did not include in this video, and maybe that just means that you got to come out here to Denver and hang out with me, grab some coffee, some lunch, or maybe some ice cream. I hope you ask for that. And with all of this mouth-watering content, I am more than just a foodie here. I'm a realtor and licensed broker in the state of Colorado. Feel free to give me a call, shoot me a text, send us smoke signals if you want to. I am here to make sure that you're well taken care of here in the Denver area for any needs. Or if you want some more suggestions on where to eat or have some more ice cream, let me know and I am here to help. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next week.